Marvel movies are great. Everything about them, it's fine. It's fine. Infinity War was amazing. I don't know how a movie could top Infinity War. But I've not seen Endgame yet. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. Am I waiting for it to go to Netflix? Because it's going to. We know at this point it's going to. But, I don't know. I guess, it's up to my parents, really. I'm still living with them, so, yeah. Every Marvel movie I've seen, MCU and prior to MCU, I thought they had really good qualities. Um, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man had good things about it. Um, People are gonna hate me for this, but the Fantastic Four movie with the Silver Surfer wasn't terrible. It was bad, but it wasn't terrible. Someone's gonna argue with me on that. But anyways, I thought, past Marvel movies were pretty good. Movies now are amazing, but past Marvel movies are pretty good. Um, if it wasn't for the old X-Men movies, the trilogy that really didn't do well as far as reviews, I wouldn't want to write. Those movies inspired me. I was set on my path to writing because of those movies. I don't care what anyone said. I was a dumb kid. I was a very young kid. I didn't know, like, there were so many problems. I couldn't see or foresee. It's raining. And I didn't put on my music. I need my music, so I'm not, like, the loudest thing in the room. And the most, I don't know, powerful? Huge lack of better words, but yeah. Where did I put it? Was it in... No, I know it wasn't there. I think it was in my Good Beats playlist. By the way, check out my playlist tab. There's a lot of things there that are not on my homepage. I put some of my playlists on my homepage, but there are other ones that I should have put there, but I didn't. I just didn't. Okay, this is another video. I don't know if this is claimed either. I hope not. But the other one, the other music that I play in my videos, that video, it's like 10 hours long. It's just calming music like this. I found it looking for unclaimed music, so far those videos have not been struck. Speaking of hammers, I like the older Thor movies. I know Dark World got a lot of flack, but I thought it was pretty cool. What was that one where Loki had made a deal with Malakar? I think it's Malakar. And Loki started commanding a big army of Chitauri aliens, and Iron Man got PTSD for like 2 movies because of that. He had PTSD, and then he just didn't 2 movies later. I mean, that was a good movie. I really did enjoy that. I truly enjoyed that. But I think Marvel can improve. I think Marvel can improve in a lot of ways. Ways that they don't want to, but the fans want them to. And I don't see that as a good thing. If Marvel brought in characters that more comic central fans knew, and moviegoer fans don't know at all because of the way the movies are, I think it would be really awesome. At the end of, I think it was X-Men Origins Wolverine. No, it was what was that one? First Class. At the end of X-Men First Class, there was this bit where a bunch of guys in black suits are walking around in this lab-like building. One of them has a briefcase. He gets a vial, and he sets his briefcase down on a table, and he puts the vial in his briefcase. The side of his briefcase says Essex, as in Nathaniel Essex, or Mr. Sinister, which is an amazing villain with a crap ton of ridiculous powers who has done some seriously screwed up things, and if he ever came to movies, that would be the end of the MCU. Who could even stop Mr. Sinister the way he is in the comics? I mean, maybe Thor. Maybe, no, Hulk wouldn't really last, would he? Because Mr. Sinister can, like, lift people up. Remember that bit from the Deadpool video game where he just lifted Deadpool up? That was awesome. I mean, why can't we have someone like Mr. Sinister? We get that one tease, and then there was never a follow-up movie. Or I guess there was, but it just didn't center around that or any of the previous plot. It was just Logan. That was the follow-up movie, right? It's like the next Fox X-Men movie. I think. I think. I don't know. Anyways, it would have been great if Mr. Sinister was in the next movie, but he wasn't. And I think that's a shame and a missed opportunity. Some other characters that I would like to see in movies that we're just not gonna get. Cosmic Spider-Man. I have a Cosmic Spider-Man toy somewhere. It's over there. This is some cool stuff, okay? This version of Spider-Man is so much more powerful than anything we've seen from Spider-Man. He has the powers of Captain Universe. You don't even know who Captain Universe is. I'm gonna try to incorporate all that into my Ultimate Alliance fanfiction. And by the way, I want it to have crossovers, like dimension travel, like versions of the characters from other video games, or maybe movies. Maybe we get the Sam Raimi Spider-Man in there, or the one from the animated series, the 90s series. That could be really cool. And I want to do that. I'm trying to. I'm trying to find the time to write this kind of stuff, but who knows? Another thing we got a limited glimpse of was the Trask family and the Sentinels. We got a lot of stuff from them in that same movie that I just named it. I just named it like 20 seconds ago. First Class. We got a lot of stuff from them in First Class. But there's a lot more stuff. There's Bolivar's children. He had a son and a daughter, and they were both mutants. One had precognition, the other could travel through time, and that caused her to disappear when she was a child. She actually went to the future. It's a really cool story, and I want you to go on the Marvel Wiki and read all about Larry Trask and his sister. I have already forgot her name. I really did enjoy those articles. And it's sad that they're never going to get a spot on the MCU. The Sentinels, that whole movie wasn't even part of the MCU. It was just, because of the MCU, it never happened. Same thing goes for all of the X-Men movies, including Age of Apocalypse. So Apocalypse is not part of the MCU. It sucks. I mean, I thought Apocalypse was pretty good. It wasn't his best, but he was doing pretty good. If he did swap bodies with someone, I know he tried to swap bodies with Xavier in that movie. If he did swap bodies with someone, that would have been really cool. I like the whole Evan story arc from the comics. I think his name is Evan. The kid that is basically the new Apocalypse. That's like a good guy. Another thing is older Hulk movies. I don't know where they fit in. Are they MCU or are they pre-MCU? Specifically the ones with like Abomination and the guy that was supposed to be the leader, but they didn't follow up on him being the leader. And that's another thing. Hulk needs more Hulk villains in the MCU. There are Avengers villains in the MCU, but there's no like villains that were for specific members of the MCU. Like, the Avengers all have their own independent comics, and they had their independent villains. Like, you're never gonna see Mangog fighting Thor. Or, no, he is a Thor villain. You're never gonna see Mangog fighting, like, Iron Man or Hulk or Cap. That wouldn't happen. You're never gonna see the leader fighting Iron Man, Thor, or you get the idea. Also, I get that the whole Unworthy storyline is convoluted, but if we could do that, I really want to see Jane Foster Thor on the big screen. That would be amazing. Or, since I haven't seen Endgame, I don't know how the heroes have been brought back. Are they going with the Heroes Reborn storyline from, like, post, what was his name, Onslaught? Are they going with something like that? Did some sort of Nathaniel Summers level being create a dimension in a ball and be like, this is the prime dimension now? That'd be awesome. But if it's not like that, and if Rocket, the lone survivor of the Guardians, had to just find more friends to be his um, new guardians. We could do that, but we probably didn't. We most definitely didn't. Because I have seen Star-Lord in the trailers for Endgame. So, I don't know what happened. I'm gonna find out, but I'm already a little let down. Because they could have put certain characters in this new Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, there are characters that were in the Guardians that have never been in the MCU. They've just not got their time to shine yet. Like Ex Nihilo. Or Flash Thompson Venom? Why not? I mean, that's kind of convoluted. I guess we would have to go through the whole Eddie Brock thing first. And I don't know how people would feel about that. I mean, the Sam Raimi Eddie Brock was not good. And Venom got bad reviews. So, trying again in the MCU might be a bad move. I don't know. Don't know. But also, if it is in the MCU, we could get that Tom Holland, what's his name? The guy that played Venom. We could get to see them have a fight scene or multiple fight scenes. And that's what people wanted when Venom was announced. And we didn't get that. I was sad. And I was also really sad that all the Foundation symbiotes died. I mean, the Life Foundation needed its guards. I guess in the end it didn't, because the one Foundation symbiote that didn't die was Riot. And it didn't even go to the right person. It went to someone it didn't go to in the comics. Yeah, all those symbiotes that died in the Venom movie that Carlton Drake was testing, all the multicolored symbiotes, they were supposed to go to 5 people. They're called the Life Foundation symbiotes, and they were a thing for a very short time in the 80s in comics. And then came Hybrid, and then came Toxin, and those were amazing characters, and we didn't get any of that, because those symbiotes died in the Venom movie, for some reason. I don't know. I think it made the movie suffer. Like, the movie could have been cooler if we were supposed to get attached to 4 more symbiotes. I don't know. Maybe. And if Carlton Drake wasn't Riot, if Riot actually went to the correct person, then we'd have 5 characters to fall in love with. On top of those 5 characters, there's Venom, and the scientist, Dora. I don't even know if she's like a real thing in the comics, but I think her character was a bit unnecessary. I mean, we had Anne Wang, which, by the way, that was awesome. To have Anne Wang in a movie, that was awesome. But now, what about a She-Venom movie? Why not Gwen Stacy She-Venom? Because honestly, I think she was cooler than Anne Wang. If you haven't heard the Gwen Stacy She-Venom, it's an amazing story. I really recommend it. Yeah. what else can I ramble about? Basically, I think the MCU movies would be better if they brought out characters that moviegoers simply don't know about. Make a Moon Knight movie, okay? Samuel L. Jackson is not going to be continuing with the MCU. I think he made that clear. I think. Maybe I'm pulling this out of a lucid dream or something. But I think Samuel L. Jackson said he was going to step back and just bow out of the MCU. And you could always bring him back and make a Moon Knight movie. Please, it would be so good if done properly. Bring in the Submariner, bring in Namor, bring in... Let's consult my wall of toys. And bring in Gwenpool. That'd be cool if you did it properly. Bring in the Punisher. That'd actually be really good if you made an actual Punisher movie that like tied in the Jon Bernthal series. If Jon Bernthal was cast for the Punisher for an MCU movie and throw in Spider-Man for good measure, that could be a really good movie. And it would confirm that Jon Bernthal's Punisher was MCU. Because, I mean, these Netflix TV shows, they're good and everything, but we don't have confirmation that they're MCU. So, that'd be amazing. And I'm sure he could do it right, because the series was just flawless. Although I didn't like how he won everything. Like, the one time he didn't really win was with Agent Orange. And still, in the end, he kind of won. And I think they could have brought more villains in. The Punisher has a lot of villains. There was one that I'm forgetting the name of, but basically he could turn any part of himself into a weapon of some sorts. I forget his name, but he's an amazing character. So that would have been cool if he was brought onto the show, or if they just made more seasons. Then they could do that if they wanted to, you know? I don't have that many Marvel toys. I almost bought, the day I bought Gwenpool, I almost bought a Molten Man toy for the Spider-Man Far Far From Home, whatever it's called. It was like teasing the fact that Molten Man is going to be in that movie. And I think that's awesome, because Molten Man hasn't really been used in years, decades. He hasn't really been used in anything in so long. I think that's awesome. So, yeah. I almost bought that toy, but for one, it was more toy quality, and that lowered the price a lot, but I still didn't have enough money, and toy quality, I don't really do that. I mean, it was like bulky plastic and limited mobility from what I could see. I couldn't see much, but anyways, I don't buy much toy quality figures, and there were no, like, extensions. Like, my Gwenpool has 4 different hands that you can swap out with the hands she has, and a cell phone that you can stick in her hand and two katanas and an alternate head. And I mean, it's just, there's so many things. And that tail, that tail in her box, because she's part of a set for a Build-A-Figure. It's the lizard. And I think the lizard in an official Marvel movie, what was that one movie where they had the lizard? That was not the lizard. Not the lizard we know and love. I think if they did the lizard right, and actually did that for a MCU Spider-Man movie, that would be awesome. But they're not going to do that. Not because of the way, because of the way the Lizard movie failed. The Spider-Man movie with the lizard, it failed miserably, and that's why they're not going to do another Spider-Man movie with the lizard. Just mark my words, they're probably never going to do it again. Unless people completely forget about the last time that happened. The only time that happened. And people are kind of thankful that it's not been done again since. But if they did it right, that would be amazing. What's another good idea? I actually made a note. Hold on, I'm gonna pause the music for a brief second, and I'm gonna pull up this note. It was called Marvel Would Make Millions If, and then it was just idea after idea after idea. Where is it? Is it on my other phone? I'll check my other phone. Yeah, here it is. Marvel would make millions if they used Mr. Sinister as a main antagonist in a movie. I already covered that. Marvel would make millions if Moon Knight got a movie and maybe a live-action series. I already covered that. If they made an animated series about the Invaders, that would be a really good idea, and they've not done it. And I don't know why. Granted, more comic book centered fans go to animated series, and now that they've made the DC Universe app, it's all about the comic centered fans, at least on that streaming service. So they do service the comic centered fans as far as in animated films and shows. They do make a lot of fan service in those, and I appreciate that, but they don't in the live action movies and live action shows. The live action, what is it, Iron Fist had no fan service. Everyone hates it. Marvel would make millions if they made a live-action series about Hellcat. I think that would be a great idea. And I don't know. I think Hellcat could make a really convincing character. Like, she would have depth to her, and she wouldn't feel two-dimensional and flat like some of the supporting characters on Black Panther. I personally didn't think most of the girl warriors, they were not that You know the words. I don't know the words. I should know the words. It's stupid that I don't know the words, but my brain's melting. Um, Marvel would make millions if they brought back Galacta. Okay, so for you guys that don't know this story, Galacta is the daughter of Galactus. She came about and only had one comic about her come out. And it ended because that one comic ended with almost abortion. Okay, what happened was Galacta was living on Earth as a normal teenage girl. I think she was in college, actually. And she was feeding on microscopic organisms. She was always hungry, but she fully contained it. And this was way before Galactus became the Life-Bringer. So, yeah, I mean, she was just better at containing that hunger. She didn't care. And then she noticed through her divination cosmic powers, there's a word for that. It's the something force. The something force. The power cosmic, that's what I'm trying to say. She noticed through her power cosmic divination and all that stuff that there was a organism, like a blue caterpillar looking thing in her stomach, and she thought it was a parasite. So she goes through this whole arc, this whole comic, trying to find the ultimate nullifier, or I think the pieces of it. And she does, and by the end of it, she sticks the ultimate nullifier down her throat and almost pulls the trigger and destroys whatever's in her stomach. And then Galactus gives her this vision and like more of his power, so she's stronger in the power cosmic, and she realizes, she has this epiphany that it's not a parasite. She's pregnant. And apparently the species of Galactus and Galacta reproduce asexually, and that was just a child. And like, Galacta had no idea. That's how the comic ends. And people were livid to the point where Galacta didn't continue anymore. And someone, like, important to Marvel, I forget who, said that Galacta was not part of the Earth 616, officially. So, that sucks that they made that happen just because some people got angry. I mean, personally, I don't think it's that big of a deal. She made a mistake, and she didn't even go ahead and do it. I mean, abortion, considering the other things that have been in comics, that's not even that bad. I mean, read Moon Knight. If you want to see some dark stuff, read Moon Knight. Abortion was nothing, like, compared to some of the things you read in Moon Knight. So, I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyways, I think Galacta could do a lot of good for Earth 616 comics. So yeah, that's just my take on that. And I'm split at a fork on bringing her into my fanfiction. Because on one hand, I think she's a cool character and she could bring a lot to the table, like a lot. And on the other hand, I don't know how people will react because of the flack that she got. I mean, I'm gonna have other characters that people don't particularly like, such as the Porcupine, Alex Gentry, um, Whirlwind, and Super Pro, but I'm gonna write them differently, and I'm gonna try my best to make them actually interesting, because they have cool abilities or equipment. It's either the abilities or the equipment, depending on who we're talking about. They're cool characters because of that. And if you gave that stuff to a character that was actually written well, they'd be considered cool. I mean, so I'm gonna try to write them better. So, bear with me. Yeah. I'm gonna do things like that, and I could do that for Galacta, but I don't know if it would work, because I don't know if it would overshadow the bad things that Galacta has given us. Like, the bad taste that the Galacta comic gave the community. Not me, but the rest of the community. Here's another one. Marvel would make millions if the MCU Guardians of the Galaxy spent a movie pursuing Zemnu the Titan. So, Zemnu is a Hulk villain who is this big, white, fluffy, Yeti-looking thing, and he can manipulate people's minds, like hypnotism, on a very advanced level. Basically mind control of all functions. And it would be cool because the comics with the Zemnu were... I enjoyed them. And... Or no, I've not read them. I've watched videos by Comicstorian and Comics Explained talking about that character, and watch Mojo as well. I think if they did the character right in an MCU movie, that could be a very profitable movie. That's my thoughts. Marvel would make millions if they put Cosmic Spider-Man in Endgame. I've not updated this note in a long while, and now it's showing. That would have been so cool. But they just won't. They just won't indulge Cosmic Spider-Man ever again. I'm gonna have him in my fanfiction. I'm gonna have Cosmic Spider-Man. It's gonna be short-lived, but things are gonna happen, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna make it awesome. By the way, I've been considering my own stories, my personal work, and how I would make it work. There's problems with my stories, and no one's stepping up to help me with them. Anyways, I want to do more of my original fiction, and I'm working on it. I also want to do this Ultimate Alliance fanfiction. So I've got 2 roads and I'm taking both. And we will see how that goes. That usually doesn't go well for me, but I want to do this. So I'll work on it. And we'll see where it goes. Personally, I think this is a pursuable thing that could get me money if I didn't have so many problems that could be easily fixed with other people's opinions that are so minuscule details that it's not even worth credit. It's like sending someone what you have and asking them one question, like what should happen next or something like that. It's that simple, and people are not stepping up. So if I had those problems solved, I would be probably published already. I'd be in a much better spot. And anyways, I just want to say that what I'm doing is only going forward. So I'm going to try harder. And I have no idea. That's probably not going to get me anywhere better, but I think it's up to other people. I have real problems that I've observed time and time again, and I can't solve them. I have determined that through real logic, with real reasons. I'm not just BSing you guys. I can't fix my problems with my stories. I don't care what you think. You're probably hearing this and you're like, yeah, right. Yeah, you're just full of it. You're blah, 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 blah. But no. I'm not, like, scamming anybody or trying to be a bad friend or any of that. I need genuine help. And I can't do this on my own. If I could, my stories would already be out there. My stories, like, I had some great ideas that were just shut down automatically by my problems. That could be so easily fixed if I had someone else to help me with this stuff. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is, no I won't. Tomorrow's Monday. I'll see you guys Wednesday. What is Wednesday? Books update. I kind of already did that. I kind of just did that. That was stupid of me. And I guess there is one thing. There's one thing that I'm gonna make a video on that. I'll see you Wednesday, and I like this. I enjoyed this. I was completely rambling. There was no script. There was no anything. I was completely just rattling off. Tell me what you guys think of my ideas for the MCU. I will see you in 3 days, I guess, as per new schedule, and peace.